Hey, good evening, good evening, good evening again, man. I want to welcome you guys back to the Conversation 9-8, and I appreciate you guys for rocking with your boy. Um, Last episode for 2023. I'm excited about it. Looking forward to the conversation. Looking forward to just having dialogue tonight. Um, and not only that though, won't be before you long, but wanted to stay consistent and do what we do on a weekly basis. And just be excited about being back on tonight. Again, man, I just look forward to um, the conversation, look forward to the dialogue, but also I'm just excited about this year, excited about 2023, what has transpired in 2023. 2023 overall been um, I would say, an up and down year for me. Not nothing bad in the sense to complain about, but a lot of lessons learned this year, and I'm excited about it. Uh, and just looking forward to the growth and the ability to learn and grow from this, take it into the new year. Looking forward to the challenges. Looking forward to the new things. Looking forward to the unknown. And I just say I just looking forward to the unknown. Um, so we could get right to get right into that. I hope everybody is going into the new year. You got your things, got your mind made up, and you're excited about what you got going on. And I pray for strength and clarity for you as you go into the new year. Um, and I mean, that's pretty much it. That's all I can say about that. But besides that, man, we're gonna go get right on into it, man. I hope everybody is doing well. How you doing, Mom? Thank you again for tuning in. I look forward to having a dialogue with you all tonight. And tonight I won't be on here long. Won't be on here long at all. I just look forward to the conversation because tonight, and as I was thinking about it, it was like, man, what I was going to talk about. Um, and this topic came to mind, and it's just uh, prioritize making time for people and things that are important in your life. You know, as we get ready to go into the new year, you know, a lot of times what happens is many of us we end up uh, overlooking the people and the things that are important to our lives, and we don't prioritize them where they should be. And that can be for a lot of different reasons. You know, we can be focused, locked in on our jobs. We can be focused, being locked in. Um, you got to be focused, locked in on our jobs or our careers or our kids or whatever, right? And we ended up not prioritizing the people that are important to us, the people and things that are important to us the right way. And what happens is we end up living our lives, and we'll live our lives to the point to where we will get to a place to where we'll look back and be like, dang, I wasted great opportunities to maximize those opportunities. And I say now, just take the time to be deliberate about prioritizing the people and the things that are important in your life. Like seriously, be deliberate about it. Because we don't know, we don't know. And I said this with my brother. My brother recently passed away, and I said it before, but I say it again. Um, Time is a gift that we only get once, and with understanding that time is a gift that we only get once, what are we doing with our time, especially with the people? We don't have the people in our lives at the length of where we want to. And some of us, we will find ourselves living in a perpetual state of regret because we didn't maximize those times. We didn't prioritize our kids when they was living with us. So now when they get grown and they go out on their own, now we sitting there depressed and just down because we're expecting them to come back home, but we didn't maximize the time we had with them. We prioritize our spouse. We don't prioritize spending time with our spouse. We don't prioritize spending time with our siblings. We don't prioritize spending time with the people and the things that are important to us, but then live with the regret from them not being there. We have the ability to prioritize them right now. Just take that time and prioritize. Take that time and prioritize. Don't sit there and try to make any excuse. Don't sit there and try to justify. Just take the time to prioritize because it's not hard. And if you really be honest, it's not hard to do. It's just hard to do when we get caught up. But I say this. I would rather puts the effort into prioritizing people now and feel like and make the sacrifices now than rather have to deal with the weight of the regret that I have for not making that time. And you have the time to correct it. You have the time to show up more for your kids. You have the time to be there at their games. You know, that your job and whatever you're trying to pursue on your job. Hey, you know, I'm not telling you not to be ambitious and pursue that, but at the expense of what? What cost are you willing to pay? Because that promotion is not going to get that time back. That extra money is not going to get that time back. You see what I'm saying? Your kids need to see you. The people in your life need to see you. They need to see you make those sacrifices. They need to see you prioritize them over the things that you always choose over them. Go into this new year with that mindset. Go into this new year say, hey, look, I'm going to sit down and prioritize the people and the things that I need to prioritize, because at the end, I don't have them my entire life. You're not going to have them there your entire life, you know? And I know a lot of times we get caught up because we get frustrated, but you know, many of us get frustrated because we take for granted the things, and we feel like we take for granted for things, and we choose like we got more time. So that's why we choose to neglect those things or not prioritize things, people and things in our lives the way that it need to be. But then on the flip side, we have to deal with the regret or the hurt and the pain of not being there. You know, when that family member passed away, and now you're upset because you wasn't there, and you had time to make that time, but you just didn't do it because you chose something over that, right? Pick that phone up. You know, don't sit there and have to live in regret because you didn't pick the phone up to check in on somebody. If you get the unction to call somebody, or somebody come in a thought, there's nothing stopping you from sending a text message. There's nothing stopping you to say, hey, look, I just thought about you. Hey, just checking in on you. Hey, just want to say, hey, God bless you, or whatever it is. Hey, you came across my mind. Even though it may be something that y'all hadn't spoken years, but when you go back and you make it right, you will live with you. You will find peace. You will find that peace. You will find that peace. And it will be so much easier for you. You know, God forbid something happened. Now you're not living with that regret. Now you're not carrying that regret. Because the problem is, many of us, we carry a lot of extra stuff. We carry stuff because we don't prioritize. You know, 2 years ago, a little bit over 2 years ago, my mom retired and moved in with me, and that's been a blessing because I realized how much I didn't spend time with my mom. And it was, you know, I was doing my career. It wasn't for neglect, because every time I had a chance to go home, I went home. But one thing I realized was, hey, I did not spend that time that my other siblings had the chance to spend time with. I didn't spend that time. And then with my dad passing away 10 years ago, you know, there's a lot of conversations I wish I would have had. And I was like, dang. So guess what I'm doing now? I'm having those conversations. I'm maximizing that time. I'm prioritizing spending that time. I'm prioritizing appreciating those people in my life that I know that are important to me. Those people and those things. And I've gotten to a space where I can prioritize and start putting things in place to realize what is important and what is not important. Because everything is not important. Everything is not important. And my prayers for somebody that can really understand that, because, you know, stop making everything important, because everything is not important. You know, I talk about the analogy of glass ball and rubber ball, and many of us, glass ball is a priority. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to juggle the glass balls, and everything is a glass ball in our life. Our jobs is a glass ball. Our affiliation is a glass ball. Our family is a glass ball. All of these things are glass balls, and we're making certain things priorities that could be a rubber ball. That could be not a priority. It's important, but it's not a priority. And a rubber ball can bounce, but we're trying to balance all of these glass balls, and we got to sit there and take inventory, because the reality is you don't have that many true priorities in your life. Some things we just make it seem like it's more important because that's what we prioritize, because most of the time the things we make important are really self-serving to us. But if we take the time to prioritize the people and the things in our lives the way they need to be, we will find that balance, and we will make peace and find peace in our lives. We will make peace and find peace in our lives. We will. I mean, and there's too much going on, like too much. And sadly, you know, a lot of people don't like to talk about it, but this is a sad truth. You know, many of us look back on our lives right now, and realize we wasted so much time by not prioritizing our kids, and our kids gone, and we trying to make that time up through our grandkids. Or we don't prioritize being in a relationships. We don't prioritize or appreciate the people that we have, and we end up losing a good thing because we just so stupid and we so caught up on the foolishness that we don't even appreciate what we got. And we're sitting around feeling entitled, not prioritizing things, not appreciating the people and the things that's been in our lives, that been consistent, that been there for us, that had our back, that you can depend on. But you feel like it ain't good enough, or whatever you get in your mind, and you don't appreciate it, and you allow it to go away. And now you sitting there like a sad puppy trying to prove to everybody that you can do it on your own when you ain't even had to. But because of your decisions and your mentality and your mindset, you end up doing it on your own. And guess what? That is your fault. That is 100% on you and nobody else. And then now you can go on with all the narrative that you want. You can go on with the narrative that, oh, it just ain't no good man. It just ain't no good women. No, just be honest. Say, hey, I dropped the ball. I dropped the ball. I didn't prioritize the people in my life. Think about it. Think about it. The thing is, a lot of people get this mixed up. They get this mixed up. But when we realize that people don't have to do stuff for us, that's what really will help us prioritize and appreciate the people and the things in our lives that are important. Because a lot of times we act as if people have to do things for us, and they don't have to do things for us. And why don't we appreciate people for doing those things? It doesn't matter, oh, they made me upset, or they this, that, and the third. I got it. We all going to be up. We all going to have ups and downs. We all going to have things that are going to make us upset. But I'm talking about those people that you can depend on, that's always there, always considering you, always doing things. Do you return the favor to them? Do you reciprocate that same energy back towards them? Do you do that? Or do you just take, and then want to feel like you justified to have an attitude because you ain't getting what you want in that moment? Stop dogging them people out and go and appreciate those people in your life, because eventually you're going to lose them. Eventually you will lose them. And I would tell you, the sad thing is, and I know a lot of people don't like it, but you end up losing people that are good for you, and then have to live with that regret for losing them because you didn't prioritize them. You didn't appreciate them. You didn't make time to show that level of appreciation. So a person's desire to be appreciated is not a sense of them want to be validated. Everybody wants to be appreciated. Nobody wants to be taken for granted. And if somebody doing something for you, they consistently do something for you, you consistently benefit from them, right? Do they have the same, can they say the same thing from you? Is it mutually beneficial? And if it's not, you need to be appreciative of what that person is doing for you. I'm not talking about somebody holding something over your head. No, but you need to be appreciative. You need to prioritize making time for these people. When they call you on your phone, pick the phone up, prioritize them, and show them that you appreciate them. Show them that you appreciate them. Don't sit there and don't go into 2024. Don't go into the new year sitting around feeling like that you're justified based off of your own emotions. No, go in and take inventory. Take inventory. We need to take inventory of the people in our lives and who actually do stuff for us, who are actually there for us, who we can actually depend on. Not the people that we want to be in our lives, but I'm talking about the people that are actually in our lives that we can depend on. And how much do we prioritize those people, and how much do we appreciate those people in our lives? But I would tell you, a lot of times we don't, because we begin to get a sense of entitlement and feel like, well, I'm just upset about X, Y, and Z, so they made me upset. But you still receiving from them. You still benefiting from them. What are they benefiting from you? Take inventory. Stop lying about it. Be honest about it, and appreciate those people. Appreciate those people in your life, because when you lose them, you'll realize it was because of your neglect, not because of what they did. My mom said, okay, but what if I don't feel like talking? Ain't got nothing to do with you feeling. It has nothing to do with your feelings. You know, so many people, we sit around and we want to justify certain things based off of our emotions and our feelings. You know, I would tell you, uh, don't end up losing a good thing because you're trying to justify your feelings off, or you try to justify everything also how you feel and your emotions, because your emotions and how you feel is fickle. And a lot of times how we feel is based off from a selfish point of view. And it's based off we getting what we want, not what we either deserve or what we supposed to give. And the funny thing with that is, the funny thing that I find with that is the people that are so easily manipulated based off of how they feel, they never they never have the same feeling that reinforce their emotions, never reinforce their obligations of what they're supposed to do for somebody else. And it's always stimulated, or it's always sway to how they feel or what they're going to get, because it's based off of selfishness, not selflessness. And that same emotion will never return the energy to hold them accountable to them doing for others the same way that they feel like they should get done for themselves, because they're easily manipulated by their emotions. Easily manipulated by their emotions. So don't be that person. Prioritize those people in your life. Be good to those people in your life. Just take inventory. Like, sit down. Dang, man. You know, and it's the small things. Don't get it twisted. And I'm not talking about this big thing. I'm not talking about no social media and everybody on trips and all this stuff. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that can't be a part of it, but I'm talking about the legit levels of appreciation. Those thank yous, the small things, the small gestures. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, thank you. You appreciate it. And seriously, really thank them and have a grateful mindset, a grateful heart. I would tell you, man, people don't realize just how much being a small gesture of gratefulness and appreciation, how much that can heal relationships, how much that can mend broken hearts, how much that can mend wounds of a person feeling like they're taken for granted, or they're been neglected by somebody, or they're being taken advantage of because they consistently do for and prioritize somebody who rarely, if ever, shows a level of appreciation for them. And then feels like if that person asks for appreciation, that other person want to turn around and make it feel like they're seeking validation. And that's not seeking validation, because everybody wants to be appreciated. Everybody likes an attaboy. Everybody likes somebody telling them thank you. It doesn't matter. You can try to act as hardcore as you want. Everybody desires that. Everybody wants that. So why can't we do it for those people who are supposed to be the most important people in our lives? Why can't we do it? And the reason why many of us choose not to do it is because we don't want to deal with the reality that we are selfish and we prioritize ourselves. Think about the people that I'm talking about, and I'm not talking about this crazy. I'm talking about the people that have sacrificed for you. I'm talking about the people that have been there for you. Can they depend on you the same way you can depend on them? That's one way to figure out who, one of the ways you're talking about figuring out who needs to be prioritized is figure out, can they depend on you? Can these people depend on you the same way you can depend on them? Or figure out who are you benefiting the most from? And the people you are benefiting the most from, you should prioritize them. Then you go into the category who is dependent on you, like your kids and all of that, right? Stop. I'm telling you, man, stop getting this external stuff. So many people, man, listen. I tell you, this is something that a lot of people don't like, but so many people are wounded because the people that are closest to them have prioritized external things instead of prioritizing internal things to their home. Their spouse prioritizing their jobs over them. Their parents are prioritizing their jobs over their families. And I'm speaking for somebody who was a preacher's kid, and you can even feel like you're doing the work of God or doing a noble thing, but you still can be neglecting the people that need you. Prioritize that time. Prioritize making time. They will understand that, hey, you may not can be there all of the time, but why should they always accept you doing something externally and you not prioritizing those that are within? Prioritize those people within, because those people within will have to live with that neglect, and it's deeply rooted. Even though you feel like you was doing right, you end up wounding them deeply because you chose outside over inside. And I would tell you, there are so many people that are living with the residue of that trauma, of that neglect, and they don't say anything, and they just have to carry that silently because, you know what, that was, you know, that's my mama, or they did this for me. And the worst thing we can do is, and I will tell you this, right? And thank you, God. One of the worst things we can do as someone who has neglected somebody else or not prioritized things, even when we probably didn't even know we were doing it, is to try to justify it to those same people, especially as a parent and as a spouse. And as a parent, if I chose my job and I'm going hard in the paint for my job because I'm chasing these promotions, but I'm doing it because, hey, look, I'm doing this because I want to get this promotion and get this money so I could make a better life. But the kids don't care nothing about that better life. They care about you. But then when they come and say, hey, I don't like how you have, or even, you know, they come and express to you their displeasure with your choices, don't go back and try to throw it back on them and be like, well, I did it for you. That's one of the worst things you can do. Own it. Listen to them, because the same way, because it will never impact you the way that it impacted them. It will never do that. I promise you it won't. Yeah, your kids understand it. Yes, your spouse understands it. But only so much understanding can go on when you aren't prioritizing them the way that you need to. Because everything we're making a priority, when we look back over our lives, we'll realize that stuff didn't matter. It did not matter. And we have strained relationships, all for stuff that didn't matter in the big scheme of things, but it was important to us at that point based off of how we prioritize. So, hey, I just pray that this was helpful to somebody. I really do pray that this was helpful to somebody. I pray that you guys have a great and blessed new year. I pray that whatever happened in 2023, that we can use it as a lesson learned going in 2024. And then, hey, just make decisions to do better. Because if you make decisions to do better, things will get better. You guys have a great and wonderful evening. God bless.